Well, now the White Cliffs are a little more obvious. I was wondering about that when we were hiking yesterday, because we were in the White Cliffs trail system, and I saw plenty of cliffs, but they didn't appear to be white. So, in that area we could see White Cliffs. Pretty cool. Good morning, tribe. What are we up to today? Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate you taking your time to watch my videos. We are still in Kingman, Arizona, but today we're heading in the opposite direction from which we will be most of the time this summer. We're heading north and west for a little bit, because this is not just the story of Route 66. It's the story of history and how our world has been shaped by it, with the overlapping influence of Route 66 and Interstate 40, and later in the summer, the Lewis and Clark expedition. And what we're going to find, I'm sure, are tons of interwoven layers Sorry, the road's really bumpy. We're going to get a lot of that too. So, let's go ahead and roll the intro. And then when we come back, I'll give you today's updates and where we're going this morning.
Wake up with the sun in our eyes. Sally forth, no need for goodbyes. Journey calls, let's roll the dice. Every mile a new surprise.
We are heading for a little town called Chloride. Chloride is a living ghost town. It's also home to the oldest continuously operating post office in the state of Arizona. We're going to pass through Grasshopper Junction on our way to get there. Oh, and I guess before we talk more about that, let's talk about the weather and the date and stuff like that. So the temperature outside is 58 degrees, and today is Saturday, April the 18th. Hope you're having an amazing and fascinating day. I know I am. We spent the night last night at the Home Depot parking lot in Kingman. After a full day of exploration there. So Chloride's pretty interesting. It's, as I said, it is a living ghost town. I think the current population is about 120, if I recall correctly. And one of the things that makes Chloride an interesting Quirky stop is all of the junk art in the yards of, I think, all of the occupied homes. And then there's another quirky, interesting aspect that we are unfortunately not going to be able to see because it requires four-wheel drive. And that's the murals outside of town. So if you've got a four-wheel drive or at least a high clearance vehicle, you come out this way, it's, I think, definitely worth checking out from everything that I've seen. But we're not doing that today. Was interesting. Good. Well, we're going to check out the Quirky yard art. I'm sure we'll check out the post office. See what else we can see there. Grasshopper Junction is kind of interesting, as is Chloride. In that, it was in the zone of fallout for the nuclear testing that the federal government did in Nye County. And according to the government records, the fallout radiation presence in Grasshopper Junction was exactly the same both before and after the testing, which I find kind of interesting. The population of Grasshopper Junction for many, many years, they were at 37 feet. The top Coyote Pass here. We're going to get a pretty good overview as we come up over the hill. But at its height, the population was 6. And unfortunately, the 2 adults who ran a store at the junction were murdered by 2 brothers. One of whom died in prison, the other one is still in prison. Can't remember what their names are offhand. So I don't know if there's anything left to see at Grasshopper Junction or not. We're on Route US 93, heading north. If we continue on US 93 far enough, we'll end up in Las Vegas. We're not going to do that. Still windy out this morning. The wind yesterday and the day before was pretty horrendous. I'm definitely getting blown about a bit this morning, so I'm just going to take her slow and easy. And my plan is that this summer's travel is going to be pretty slow and leisurely. I'm not going to try and see a whole bunch of stuff and exhaust myself, although I exhausted myself yesterday because I started the day in the gym for the first time in 4 years. And then Kit and I walked over 11,000 steps. We did a pretty big hike, and then we did a pretty decent walk, and then we just did a bunch of other walking. Yeah, this is quite windy. Maybe it won't be going the other way. So we've got about 14 miles to go to Grasshopper Junction. And I think I'll pick you up when we get back in that direction. Get in that direction. We're approaching our turnoff in about 3/4 of a mile. Oh, we might stop and look at this historical marker.
Take your next right onto County Highway 125.
Apparently, Chloride still has a restaurant, a place to sleep, and a campground. So I guess that's the store at Grasshopper Junction across the street.
Turn right onto County Highway 125.
Maybe we'll stop there on our way back. Oops. Historical marker. I want to take a look at the historical marker. Be right back. So that was an historical marker for Chloride. And in its heyday, which was around 1900, it had more than 2,000 residents and over 50 mines in operation. And as I mentioned previously, it also has the longest continuously operating post office in Arizona. So we're going to have some stuff to check out. Watch for cattle. Okay, I see fences. I guess we have free-range cattle too. Who knows? So 4 miles up here to town. And then we shall see what we shall see. Interesting to me that, you know, when you think about it, now it's ghost town basically. Living ghost town, but ghost town nonetheless. From 1900. That's a pretty long time ago now. It's 126 years. And I saw something recently that said that basically we now have the same amount of time between 1972 and 2026 as between 1972 and 1918. Because, you know, when the First World War was operating. Oh, there's cattle. But for me, I don't have any memory, of course, of things from 1918. But I have plenty of memories from 1972. That said, I understand the history from 1918. So it's kind of shocking to think that the time delay, the time distance between 1918 and 1926 is the same from when I was in high school. I don't know if I'm making sense of that or not. It's one of those things. It's like, that's pretty odd. Because of course, I feel very much grounded in the present. I'm not pining for the days of 1918. Anyway, my point here with Chloride is, its heyday was 1900. Which, when you say it is, 126 years ago, sounds like a really long time. But I guess for me, having been born in the late 1950s, it doesn't sound all that long ago to me. So we'll see. We'll see what we can see. And I'm going to pick you up when we get closer to our ghost town. Well, the speed limit just dropped to 25, so that's a pretty good indication that we're coming into town. And here's our first glimpse of some junk art. VFW hall off to the left. Pretty sure we'll end up taking a look at the cemetery. But we're gonna start by just driving through town. Welcome to Chloride. Population 352, established 1860. Wonder how accurate that is. Plenty of farm implements over there on the right, all rusted out, which I think qualify as art personally. Well, there is a campground there, and there are people camped there. Interesting. Chloride Western RV Park. Pretty sizable. Looks like mostly full-time people that live there. Welcome to Chloride. We have several cars behind us, so I'm going to find a place to pull over here and let them go
At the
by.
next stop sign, turn right.
I'll just pull over right here. There's an alien in the yard there, I think, with a waving the peace sign and wearing a American flag do-rag. Interesting.
At the stop
Claim
sign,
your
turn right
treasure.
onto 2nd Street. Then you'll take your first left onto Elkhart Avenue.
Mineshaft Market. We're going to hang right here. Look at that old car. over
Turn
there,
left
right.
onto Elkhart Avenue. Then you will arrive at your destination.
I guess that would be the center of town as my destination. I'm just going to have to find a place to park. Well, they're open. Yesterday's restaurant and Sheep's Miner Inn and Hotel is this way.
You have arrived.
Okay, Kay. Cyanide Springs. Sorry, no overnight parking. Well, that's fine. I don't want to park overnight. There's a market up there. It looks like I could park in. I know. I know. Oh, we're about to run out of pavement. Look at that. Well, everybody seems to have decorated, pretty well. Steampunk shop and a puppy dog. I don't know where the post office is though, so I'm gonna figure that out and find a place to park. So let me work on that. This is it, guys. Welcome to Chloride, Arizona. It is a living ghost town. And we're going to start by walking over here to the post office. Ooh, root beer float. We got Cactus Cowboy Antiques. See if I can try and hold still today. I realized yesterday when I was just holding the nano camera. Hey, Kit, come. That I have my finger over the lens part of the time. All mail is up for Friday, whatever that means. It's a little town. We're going to take a look at some of the iron junk art and stuff like that. Closed Saturday and Sunday. Holidays are observed. But this is the oldest continuously functioning post office in Arizona. So there we go. All right, we're going to get down here. Look at that beautiful view out there ahead of us. We're going to go head over to the Mercantile first, I think, because it's also the Mineshaft Market and Visitor Information Center. So we're going to go check all of that out, and then we'll just wander around the town for a little bit. When is the last time you saw an actual phone booth? Let's see if it works. Is there a dial tone? No, there is not. But it says it'll take coins. I don't know if you got to put coins in first to get a dial tone. So, cute little store, but it's not open. They got some quirky stuff hanging out front though. It is for sale if you want to buy it for $400,000. Pack Rat's Porch, come sit a spell. Arizona Outhouse. Well, no hole. And look at this little wooden ghost town of Chloride. So remember when we were, Kit, come. When we were in Quartzsite, that gentleman, can't remember his name now offhand, who had made all of the miniature buildings and made the miniature western towns. That's reminiscent of that. His were better done, I think. There's the Undertaker's box. a defunct old gas pump. And look, here we go. Here's some quirky yard art. And I'm sorry, we are walking into the sun. I'm going to turn around and go the other way so that hopefully we won't be facing into the sun for the entire visitation of Chloride. Look at those beautiful Joshua trees. Did you know that Joshua trees only branch when they have been affected by a parasite? I think that's pretty fascinating. Hey, that's some quirky art. There goes a bunny rabbit. Beautiful Joshua trees, actually. Those are some of the finest specimens I've ever seen. And there's a house over there, definitely abandoned. Come on, cat. Definitely abandoned, but very cool looking. Come to me. Yeah, very cool looking. Might be able to walk up to it, but I kind of feel like that would be trespassing. So I guess we won't. All right, so we're going to walk on down the street here where it says root beer float. It looks like the Mineshaft market is probably the biggest business in town, although I don't know that for sure. Oh, I just noticed, I didn't even look at it. I just noticed that there's a Class A motorhome inside of that fence where I parked. Go figure. And we have plenty of cactus over there. Good morning. So it appears to be a little on the sleepy side on a Saturday morning. Now it says the jail's up this way. Murals are out that way. We're not going to go to the murals. Trains to the left. All right, let's go take a look up this way. See if there's anything we can see on foot. Nothing like a little morning walk. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit warmer, but apparently not. Come. So think about what it must have been like in the heyday of the mining season. Jail and sheriff. So is that this wooden shed building? Oh, no, we walked down the road here. All right. Quite the collection of bottles. Alright, so my guess is that Chloride is not terribly busy on a Saturday morning. Kind of lends itself to the ghost town feel, does it not? And if nothing else, you're getting the opportunity to go for a walk with Kit and me. This might be the jail coming up here on our right. I see a sign. Old jail. Chloride's historic old jail had 2 cells. Each held a single mattress and a chamber pot. The sheriff's area in the middle contained a desk, chair, and a wood stove. Airflow was through the front door. The only known escape was an inebriated man who escaped the next morning to go to work. The jail plays a prominent part in the movie Rebel Rousers. Jack Nicholson's first movie shot mostly here in 1967. The movie offers an authentic glance at Chloride in the mid to late 1960s. All right, we might have to watch Rebel Rousers too, huh? There's your picture. There's your sign. And now the whole thing's being held together with cable ties. All right. Whoa. Is that a mine shaft? Could well be, I suppose. All right, let's go see what else we can find here. All right, here we have the Lorig house. One of the original homes from Chloride's glorious mining days. It was several clapboard mining shacks put together. It was at one time the central telephone office back when every call went through the operator. Catherine Lorig lived in the house for many years. She was known as the mining queen of Chloride because of several mining claim ownerships. And sorry, I'm out of breath. That's a little steeper hill that we were walking up than I realized. Check it out. Now here's a juxtaposition. Look at that fine looking stucco house over there. Looking comparatively new and tidy. Well, I wonder where the train is, because this says no trespassing. Huh. All right. Well, haven't found the train yet. Back to the intersection again. I think we'll go down this way, come around the block back up to the RV. Got the old gas pumps here. Those are definitely the old school kind. And it says root beer float. Oh, I guess it's pointing the arrow down this way. And that one down there says it's open. Do we think it really is? Or do we think it's just saying that? Let's go check out the car kit. Look at that. pretty cool. I can hear chickens behind the fence over there. Soda, antiques, movies, games, candy, art, music, arcade. So the question, of course, is it actually open? Oh, it looks like it might be. All right, this might be the biggest business in town. Yesterday's restaurant and ships, miners, inn, and hotel. Restaurant, fine dining, hotel check-in, let's take a look at this steam-powered machine here. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And this is the Chloride Community Park, which has a fair number of cars parked in front of it. AAA approved for the hotel. Hotel was established in the 1860s, so it's been around for a hot minute. Okay, I'm feeling pretty complete here. Well, we walked around town for a bit, and somewhat disappointingly, pretty much nothing is open. The hotel and restaurant attached to it. But it didn't indicate that there was anything worth seeing there, so we didn't go in. But I'm going to go check out some
Stop sign. Turn left onto County Highway 125, 2nd Street.
Possible dispersed camping down here. Not that I plan to stay, but I want to see what it looks like. The signal is not great here, so I'd have to turn on Starlink, I think, to have a satisfactory working signal. But I want to go down, take a look at it, just to kind of get an idea of what it looks like compared to what iOverlander says about it. Got a couple of guys there on bikes. I used to have that motorcycle. Many years ago. Somebody said they parked in the library parking lot on iOverlander, and there wasn't any problem with it. But it doesn't look like there's going to be any difficulty getting to this spot. And when I get there, I'm going to check on X and see if it's really BLM land or not. Because I find many times people say things are BLM land, but they're not. So there could indeed be 350 people living here when you see how many houses are down this way.
Turn right, then your destination will be on the right.
Oh, look at this. Yeah, this would actually be pretty awesome.
Your destination is on the right.
I would totally stay here. Oh, look, nice trail going back there. Oh, and the signal is much better here, too. Interesting. All right, well, I think I'm going to park here and make breakfast while I decide what I'm going to do with the rest of my day today, because it's only 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's find a fairly level spot here. Feels pretty decent. Let's see how well I picked before I turn this off. I'm high on the left. All right. though. Pretty close to level. All right, I think we're going to make breakfast. Are you hungry? You are? You're hungry? You're excited about breakfast? Okay. This is not something I often spend time talking about, right, Kit? But I'm going to today. I guess let me show you where I am. Let me show you the first thing I saw when I opened my door in this location. Look at that. Can you see it? A lot of shadow there because I put my awning out. But see that? That is a heads-up penny. Find a penny, pick it up, and all the day you'll have good luck. All right, I'm going to show you where I am. You want to come out, Kit? There's a trail down here. We'll find out later where it actually goes. Here's what I'm loving about this. I'm not seeing a bunch of glass or shotgun shells or any of that kind of stuff. This is BLM land, so I can park here legally. Here's where I'm parked. But look around. This is the town of Chloride, which is a living ghost town that we just finished exploring this morning. Oh, I can see mine equipment up there on the hill. Very cool. But what I wanted to share with you is how I actually get situated when I pick a place to park. So, and now we're going to walk back here and see how well I did, because I was only looking at my backup camera when I did it. So hopefully I'm not parked on big cacti, but I don't think I am. Oh, there is a little glass. But yeah, this is good. So see all this shade on the driver's side? That's where my refrigerator is. I want my refrigerator in the shade. So I use a couple of different apps to help me facilitate making sure that I'm pointing in the direction that I really want to be when I have the option to choose, which on BLM land is pretty much all the time. Come, come, Kit, up, up. Up, up. We have a brief puppy delay there. So, a couple of things. And one of the first ones, of course, is if I want to put my slide out, I need to be level. And I used to use an app called Clinometer, which I do use still periodically. Oh, great, now it looks like I'm not level, but I was definitely level when I parked. Come on. Part of the problem is my floor is not level. So, I'm not very level now. But I was. Okay, I probably need to go back to using the app. It is more accurate. I'm fairly level, I think. Now I'm going to have to double check it in a few places and see where I really am. But that's the first thing I do, is check for level. And then the other thing I do is I'm going to open this app, which is called Sunseeker. And this is pointing out the front of the RV right now. So you can see this is where the sun's going. And a lot of people would say, well, I don't want the sun beating in on my campsite. And I don't care. I've got an awning on the campsite. And when I'm working, as I will be shortly, I face out the driver's side, which means I want the driver's side shaded because that's where the refrigerator is. And I'd just as soon be facing into the shade. So this tells me exactly where the sun's going to be all day long. It tells me where it is right now, which is right there. So truthfully, we're getting the worst of it right now. And the temperature's not going to be that high today. It's only going to be like 73 degrees. So, yeah, I just thought I'd share those couple of, thoughts about how I do things. And normally I use the level. I'll be sitting in the driver's seat. I'm going to have to tie my door open today. A little bit of a breeze. I'll be sitting in the driver's seat and I just throw the level on the floor and we're good to go. But I think I'm going to go back to doing it with my iPad because that doesn't seem terribly level. So first thing I'm going to do is plug my iPad in, get that fired up, check my level again. I'll show you how I used to check it. I can't do it on my phone anymore, and I'll show you why in just a second. So I've got this app called Clinometer. And you can see right now, it thinks that we are off 1.2 degrees on this side and 4.1 degrees on that side. And I'll show you part of the reason it thinks that is, look at the profile where the lens of the camera is. The protector around that offsets from the rest of the phone body. So now my phone's on an angle. I wonder though, maybe if I just put pressure on it. Huh, that's not terrible. 1.7, 1.3, that might be the only thing I need to do. I'm glad I'm having this conversation with you. Let's see what happens on the floor. Ah, there we go. 1.1, 1.2, 1.2, I can live with that. That's fine. And the floor is not completely level because it's a wood floor. Let's see what happens if we do it on a... Yeah, see, I can't get anywhere near level if I try and do it on a... But... Interesting. No matter where I put it on the floor, I get a different reading. So now it makes me wonder if I put something flat on the floor that takes up more space, what happens then? Here, hang on. Let's try the journal. Let's see if that does us any good. All right, so I'm going to put my journal on the floor. Now let's put the phone on and see what happens. I don't know if that's more or less accurate. I got no idea. What do you think, Kit? All right, but whatever it is, it's good enough that we can live with it. As long as we're within 3 degrees, that's fine. I'm going to put the slide out today. I'm going to sit here and do some editing today. And we're going to have a lovely afternoon on BLM land, and then we'll get back to exploring tomorrow. Okay, so I shot when I first got here. I'm parked right there. I didn't look back here quite far enough, but I looked out my back window earlier, and I saw all of these shiny objects out here in the grass. Well, that's all glass. And this is all cans. And I'm going to point out that these are not cans that are full of bullet holes. So it is very likely that this is an old mining camp. That's pretty cool, huh? That's pretty cool. With all the stuff left over. Oh, I guess we got free-range cattle here too. And there's Kit way up there without me. You gonna wait for me, Kit? So I wonder if this trail perhaps leads down to a mining camp. That would be pretty cool. Got an old tire there. Got a lot more stuff over here. I mean, I guess it could just be a dump, but doesn't really feel like it. And since there were 50 active mines here in Chloride, I would not be surprised. Kit, leave it. Hey, come on, come on. I would not be surprised to know that this is mining detritus. And actually, also because of the way that it's spread out as we're walking down here, that seems more likely. Now, we'll just continue on for a little while, and then I'll see something else that tells me I'm completely wrong about that. What do you think? But this is part of what I love about being able to get out and camp on BLM land. You know, we get to see nature. I'm not going to love the idea of walking down this hill because I'm going to have to walk back up it. And after going to the gym yesterday, I gotta say, I'm pretty sore all over. And I'm just looking to see if there's like big cattle down here or anything. Because I don't want him chasing them. He's not a herding dog, but sometimes he thinks he is. And I'm also watching my footing pretty carefully because really don't want another broken foot. Hey, Kit, wait for me. Okay, Kit. Kit! Kit! What are you doing? He's getting so brave. He used to never be more than 10 steps away from me. Alright, we're gonna walk, which I can't even remotely hold the camera steady and do, so we'll see if we see anything super cool. Well, I'm still all out of breath because we just came back up that hill, but I want to show you this. So, when you look at shards of crockery like this, That's a pretty good indication that this was a camp. I'm gonna come over here. I don't think I have to go back too far. Where did I see it? Was it back further than I thought? No, here we go. So see, like this blue colored glass? That was fairly common back in the day for older settlements, mining camps, stuff like that. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is detritus from a mining camp. Yeah. Of some sort. And, I mean, when you think about this, guys, as I said in the video on my way in here when I was driving in today, the heyday of chloride was like 1900. So, it wasn't that they had no, hey, what are you doing? Had no modern amenities. Just, you know, not everything that we have now. So, yeah, I'm going to call this camp a good find. I'm glad I'm getting to camp here. I'm planning on having a lovely evening, and then we'll get on the road tomorrow and head back toward Kingman. Look at Henry, doesn't he look good sitting right there? Yes, he does.
Wake up with the sun